What's up, everybody? You're on the Bulletproof Mafia. I'm Michael Munsterman. Today's episode, In the Shadow. So, I've started this journey that I want to share with everybody today, and I've mentioned it. If you follow me on social media, you've probably seen that I'm doing this, and it's called 75 Hard. It's essentially 75 days of 2 workouts a day. 1 indoor, 1 outdoor, each 45 minutes, no matter, it doesn't matter if there's a tornado rolling through your front yard at 11:15 at night. If you haven't done your 45 minutes outside, you're going out into a tornado. 2 workouts a day, drink a gallon of water, and pick a diet, stick to it. You have to do that. Read 10 pages of any business book a day. There's a couple other little things, but essentially that's it. 2 workouts a day, pick a diet, stick to it. No alcohol, no cheat meals, no cheat bites. Like if you take a scoop of ice cream, you're like, it's just a scoop of ice cream, you start back over. And that's the other thing. If you trip up anywhere in the 75 days, you go all the way back to the beginning and start completely over. This week, I crossed the 50-day mark. Today is actually day 52 of 75 Hard. So, it's kind of home stretch. I've shed 10 or 12 pounds. I've gotten stronger. The good things have happened through this process of going through this. But what's wild is it seems like every week there's this new layer of revelation and understanding and confidence. And it's really, it's been an incredible journey. Now, what's fascinating is that it comes at very weird times. It seems like heading into day 49, I took that's one other requirement. You have to take a daily picture of yourself without your clothes on. I'm not fully nude but waist up. I'm taking a picture of myself every single day because you have to, because a picture gives you a reality that's a harder punch in the gut than looking in the mirror. In the mirror, you're live action, and you can, your body zooms in on your mind zooms in on the points of yourself that you appreciate the most. But in a picture, it shows everything. It's not forgiving, and something clicks and you see the imperfections inside of a still image that you don't see when you look in a mirror. So you have to take a picture every day. So at day 49, I took a picture and I'm like, man, I do not look the way that I thought I would look after 49 days of this grueling work. Because you're talking about an hour and a half of working out at 2 separate points of your day. You can't do them consecutively. It's supposed to be interruptive. It's supposed to be a pain in the butt. And it's really been fascinating because on my day 49, I took this picture and I'm like, man, I'm just not happy with this. And then on day 51, I weighed myself and I weigh lighter than I have since 1999. And so there's these little cross marks that happen. And what was fascinating, I keep saying fascinating, interesting, because it's really been this experience, and I'm sharing this with you to get to the message of the shadow. But 49, I was really down on myself. I have this group of guys that I talk to almost every day. We're in Voxer together. Voxer's a walkie-talkie app, and groups of people can come together and just kind of spitfire on there and communicate back and forth. And it's a great way to communicate with people. If you don't have it, it's an excellent tool during this whole COVID, everybody's locked down thing. But I'm digressing. Anyway, day 49 was super hard on myself, and I got on there and I'm telling these guys, I'm like, man, I recognize the authority that's being carried inside of me as I move throughout my day, as I'm pursuing the goals, and as I'm doing the things that I know that I need to be doing to accelerate my business, regardless of what's happening in the world right now. I'm doing the things that I have to inside of my physicality, and I'm getting stronger, and I'm getting more athletic, and I'm feeling better. I can run a couple miles wearing a 30-pound vest, and I'm sub 9.5 minute miles on those. And when I take the vest off, I shave 2 minutes off my mile quickly. I'm in sub 7:30 miles, and I'm just I see the progress happening. But when I look in the mirror, I'm not happy with what I see, because in my mind, and I wasn't coming to the realization that I wanted to come to, and this is the point that I'm wanting to get to with everybody here, and why I'm sharing this. I'm sharing this not only on the Bulletproof Mafia podcast, but I'm also doing this video, and I'm going to post it on Facebook because I want you to see, I want you to understand what it is that I'm talking about, and I want it to help your journey. And that is, on day 49, I was looking in the mirror and I just wasn't happy, and I couldn't understand. I've been doing this for 49 days. I haven't committed to anything this hard and done it 49 days of my life. No diet, no, like there was always a cheat. There was always a slip. There was always I'm seeing some progress. Then I give myself permission to back off a little bit, but there's zero tolerance in this. One slip is start over. I'm not going to do that. This has been a grueling 52 days at this point. But on day 50, something really awesome happened. And I was down in my gym. And when you walk into my gym, I wanted to have some fun with it. When we finished our basement here in this house that we moved into in the greater Kansas City area, I had this great big commercial glass door, steel frame glass door, very commercial, like you walk into the front of any business. That's what you would have with the automatic closer and opener and all of that. And so I installed that going into our gym. Well, when I go into my gym and I'm working out and the lights are on in the gym, but the basement's dark, when I walk in front of that door, I can sometimes see a little glimmer of myself. Like it's not a full mirror, but it's like this, it's a shadow, if you will, of yourself. And I was halfway through my workout and I got in front of the door, not intentionally. I wasn't thinking, man, I want to look at myself. Like that's where I was in the gym, and I had a couple dumbbells and I started to do some alternating curls and as part of a workout that was built for me. And I saw myself. And it was weird because there was this weird lighting thing that was happening. There was almost two overlays of me in front of the glass. And this revelation that I had was this. In our journey, sometimes there are two shadows that haunt us. The shadow of who we were and the shadow of who we see ourselves to be. And you're at this place, you're right in between those two spots. You're in a journey, you're in this pursuit, you're on your way to something. And day 49, I was being really rough on myself. I was like, man, what's your problem? Why are you beating yourself up to a point that, like, look at the work you've done, look at the progress you've made. Why are you emotionally allowing yourself to go down this rabbit hole? And then there's this other part of me that like, but I know that I've done the work. I've lost 12 pounds. Like I'm getting stronger. I'm doing like things physically that I've never been able to do recently, coming off of a surgery and a cast and all this garbage that was anchoring me back physically. And then recognizing other things that are happening, the pursuit of perfection inside of something like this. And that's what it requires. It requires perfection. You cannot slip. You read 9 pages instead of 10, you start over. Like you're 3 ounces short on your gallon of water for the day, you start over. One cheat meal, one missed meal, like you start over. And so in the pursuit of perfection, what I'm noticing is other areas of my life are also pulling my attention. It's not like, wow, I'm just so focused on physicality, everything else is falling off. It's like, no, I recognize that I see things through the end. I have a checklist. These are things that have to be done. And I'm attacking all areas of my life better. And so I see the shadow ahead of who I'm becoming. Because I've never operated this way. I've always keyed in on 1 or 2 or 3 of the 4 dimensions. I've paid attention to my body and my faith, or I paid attention to my family and my faith, or I paid attention to my body and my finances, or I paid attention to my finances and my family, and finances, family, faith at best, and then my body would fall off, and I would tell myself this lie, oh, I'm happy. And here what I'm seeing is a sprint ahead with this purpose of perfection inside of one area, and the others are elevating. I find myself being pulled to read my Bible more and have a deeper connection with God inside of my communication. I find that I want to have more intentional time with my family. I want to look in their eyes whenever they're talking to me, and I want them to see that I'm all in those conversations, and I really want them to resonate that I'm here and I'm present and I'm with them. And I see this evolution happening. And in that moment of staring in the mirror, just a split second, it like the code cracked for me a little bit. And it was like, okay, I get it. When I started this journey, there was this shadow, this person. I could only see who I was in that moment because I felt like I was sliding. I didn't feel like I could look deeper into the pit because I felt like I was at the bottom of it. And some of you guys will think, well, what's that sound like? Look, your life is X, your business is Y. Like you're just, no, everybody has their own thing. Like where you are today, you're either journeying away from a place where you weren't happy and you weren't where you wanted to be, Or you're at the bottom thinking, man, I need to take this journey. I recognize I'm at the base of the mountain and I need to summit. And I need some sort of a tool or something to get me to that summit. And that's where I was. I saw this thing, this opportunity to recognize I left that guy in the shadows. On day one, when I accomplished day one, I was one step away from that shadow. With this pursuit of something that wasn't clear to me. I had no idea the emotional power, the strength, the vitality that would pour out of this experience. And I'm not to the end yet, so I don't know what that's going to look like. But I think from today, I can see tomorrow. I can see this little shift of who I'm becoming day after day after day. And the question becomes for you, what does that look like? Who do you look like? Where are you in this journey? Because I promise that, I was thinking, so what happens at day 75? Like if you don't know me, I love craft beer. I love bourbon. I like small batch and very interesting flavors. I like a bunch of different elements of alcohol, but I've been 52 days without it entirely. And I don't know if on day 76, I'm going to say, I haven't decided. I haven't got to that point in the journey yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to say, you know what, let's have a bourbon. I haven't decided if on day 76, I'm going to take a rest day. I don't know if I can. I see a shadow of who I'm heading towards. I see a shadow of the opportunity of who to become. And I recognize that somewhere when those two align, and this is the thing that I want to give you today, when you're asking yourself, where are you in your journey? Are you closer to the first shadow or the second? Are you progressively doing something to step forward? Are you challenging yourself? This isn't about me telling you, hey, yay, look, I'm 52 on 75 hard. I mean, hey, yay, I'm 52 on 75 hard. But you get what I'm saying. It's about where. I don't do this podcast because, hey, I just want to tell you all about my life. I do this podcast because I genuinely feel like when you're being intentional about improving yourself, your business, your family, your faith, your finances, whatever it is, your physicality, whatever that pursuit is, you have an obligation to share that pursuit and the lessons that you're extracting from each individual step in that journey. And that's what the Bulletproof Mafia has been from the very beginning. When it was money moves with Michael Munsterman, it was money moves, but the goal wasn't that. It was that I wanted to pour into people. So this is, although I'm using a story about me, which I normally try not to do in the podcast, but I'm using this because I want it to be very real for you. Anybody could do this. It doesn't say pick my diet and stick to it. It's pick a diet, any diet. There's some, you can't have a cake diet, right? Common sense is king in this, but drinking a gallon of water, that's not that hard. You could do that. Working out twice a day, that's tough. That's really the hard one. And really the hardest one for me has been reading 10 pages because I'm like, I'll do 10 pages later. I'll do 10 pages later. And then it's 11:15 at night and I'm exhausted. I did 2 workouts today. I had to get up super early. I had to start my day. I have companies to run. I've got stuff going on. But that's the kind of the dichotomy of it all is pulling it together and saying, okay, look, I have to be this, but I have to be that. And that's what I'm trying to get you to just look at yourself and say, okay, well, where am I in the journey? Because right now, under lockdown, you have an opportunity to reset. And some of you aren't locked down. You're still working. You're still doing your thing. But the world is just a little bit slower. You have a few less excuses. I still have, I'm still showing up at my company. I'm still doing the things that I need to do. I'm still pursuing the things that I need to pursue while doing 75 hard with the intention of chasing a shadow. And so where are you in that journey? Are you where I was on day 49? Are you beating yourself up because you're frustrated with what you see or the lack of results that you see? Or are you in this place where you recognize, hey, I'm in a movement forward. And although I don't know what the destination looks like, I don't know what day 76 looks like, every single day I'm committed to those micro steps to get me there. And look, I don't need to spell this out for you. I don't need to tell you that there's 100 different ways you could apply this to your life. I think you know. There's for more than likely, you're listening to this thinking, well, there's this thing. Or you hear it. The first time I heard about 75 hard, I thought, I'm not doing that. That's insane. I don't even want to drink a gallon of water a day. No alcohol. And then I added a layer to myself that I didn't put a reset on it because I knew it was too much of a habit, but I definitely wanted to tone it down. And that was, I added a layer of no profanity. Whew. If you've listened to the podcast very long, you know how interesting that would be for me. And it has. And I've slipped and it's not perfect, but all of it is just, that was my thing. That was one other thing that I'm like, yeah, but this is a thing that'll be a harder challenge for me than working out twice a day. And the pursuit of the shadow and the sprint away from the previous you, that's the thought. And that's the thing I'm trying to get you to kind of pick up and run with yourself. Is what is the thing that irks you? What is the thing that bothers you? What is the thing that emotionally you beat yourself up for? It could be as simple as you're a stay-at-home mom and you beat yourself up every day because you need to clean the house, but you don't. Or it could be as impactful as, hey, I run a $100 million a year company. And I don't do a good enough job daily checking the financials, or I don't do that, or I don't do this. And whatever it is, whatever that thing is that you beat yourself up about. And for almost everybody, because of the world we live in, not everybody, but almost everybody looks at social media, how we should look, how we should dress, what we should drive. And we beat ourselves up and we steal emotional capacity from that. And there's no conversation inside of their mind about, okay, but literally real talk, step by step by step, what am I going to do to make it better? Because you could take this thing, this 75 hard and the 6 or 7 rules that go with it, that give you this gift of physicality, but also gives you a resilience internally and mentally. And you could almost cross that over into any area that you want to. 75 days spiritually. What am I going to do? 75 days financially. What am I going to do? What's something I'm going to do every single day to move the needle forward? Relentlessly, with zero opportunity to take away, zero opportunity to make excuses, zero opportunity to give myself an out. Who am I going to confide in that I'm like, I didn't get on here and tell the world the first couple, 3 weeks that I was going to do 75 hard. In fact, I left it off of social media entirely because I unplugged from the podcast the first 30, 40 days of it. I unplugged from social media greatly the first part of it because I wanted a core small group of people who I confide in, my peer group. And I went to those guys and I'm like, hey, here's this thing that I'm getting ready to do. I'm telling you because I want you to hold me accountable. I'm telling you because I want you to check in on me. I'm telling you because I want to know that if I only know in my own head, I won't hold myself to the pursuit of the shadow because I'll get lost in the dark. And I didn't say it like that because that revelation didn't hit me until day 50. But maybe what you ought to do is find a dark glass and look into it. Because it's just dark enough and you just lose just enough of the visibility of who you are that you can see both versions. I could see the person that I was trying to escape, and I could see the person that I was becoming, that I am becoming. And that's a gift that I want for everybody. I want you to be able to see where you've been, give yourself a quick pat on the back, and then recognize that there's still work to be done so that you can pursue that version of yourself. And I think if you do that, there's no possible way you can regret it. Now, Andy Frisella, his podcast is MFCEO Project, or at least it was. I think he's changed it to Real AF now, Andy Frisella or whatever you want to say. But he is the founder of 75 Hard. And I've really enjoyed listening to his perspective. And when I listened to it and I decided, okay, I'm going to do this, he said something that I want to just kind of throw on here as a disclaimer. And that is, I'm day 52. And he said lots of people, most people, like 95% of the people quit inside the first 30 days. Lots of people quit inside of the 40s. Some people quit inside the 50s. Some people even quit inside the 60s or get lost or make a mistake because they're so close to the finish line. But he said, I promise you, day 75 is the day. Day 75 is the day that the light comes on for you, That's when the real habits formed. That's when the new you steps up and you walk into a room and you've climbed your Everest. And I'm sharing that little nugget with you because if you commit to, I'm not trying to get you to commit to 75 hard. I'm trying to get you to commit to something different, to a pursuit of the shadow of who you can become, to that peak, whatever that peak is. Maybe it's an Ironman. Maybe you're going to compete in jiu-jitsu. Maybe it's not even physically. Maybe you're going to speak to your congregation. Maybe you're going to, whatever it is, whatever this thing is that we call it a BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. Whatever your BHAG is, this thing that makes your heart flutter whenever you're thinking about doing it. It rises, your blood pressure raises, your heartbeat gets jacked, and like you're uncomfortable thinking about it. Like that's the thing. And whatever that thing is, whatever that pursuit is for you, give it time. Give it an appropriate amount of time that you can pursue it and that you can conquer it. Something that when you're describing what you've just done to somebody, they're like, holy crap, I could never do that. Not because you want to be better than them, but because it just solidifies in your mind that this is a BHAG. This is hard. Most people won't get it. Most people won't care. Most people won't watch this podcast or this video to this point in it because it's not their pursuit. They'd rather look at me and say, I don't care about what you're doing. I don't care about that. Like that gives you an edge. If you're still watching this, you're in that 5% that wants something better. You want something bigger. You want, like, you're the person who's willing to put yourself through something like this for the end game. And so I encourage that. I'm going to do one more of these on day 76. And I don't know what that's going to be like. I can't get a clear view of who that person 23 days from now is, 24 days from now. But I can tell you I wouldn't trade who I am at day 52 for who I was at day 1 for anything. And I think if you'll challenge yourself to do that, you can use this time that we've been kind of trapped in to pick whatever area it is that you feel like is stealing your bandwidth because that negative voice has got a grip on you. And set the next 75 days to whatever it is that you need to set it to. You can DM me. You can message me if you've got any questions about 75 hard or if you want any pointers or any tips. I've had some great people encouraging and supporting me. I want to give a special shout out to a dude, Matt Smith. Matt built my workout plan. Matt built my diet. He's tweaked it along the way to help me with what I like, what I didn't like, how I was feeling, how I wasn't feeling. Like that dude has just really helped me a lot. I'll throw a link below so you can go check out his website. And if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, you likely know Matt because he's, from my same hometown, and most people who I know on Facebook have some sort of a connection there. But if you don't, he's a solid dude. His program is way underpriced. So you'll want to pay him double for what he does for you. But hopefully by the time this hits, he's already raised his prices, because I told him I paid it, and then I was like, dude, that's way too cheap for what you're giving. But anyway, enough of rabbit hole there. Look, I want you guys to figure out whatever it is you're doing and just crush it. Pursue that better version of you. Your life will be so much better for it. And the people who depend on you, even those people, they'll give you resistance on accident, but they'll be forever grateful for the person that you become. Savvy.